Creating a custom guideline for the EZValidation Online Tool. Creating a custom guideline in EZValidation Tool is an advanced feature. To look at the guidelines that are applied in the EZValidation Tool, you would click on the Guidelines bar at the top. And this is after you've logged in. So I'm logged in, I've gone to the guidelines, clicked there, and now it's showing me the guidelines. EZValidation Tool has standard guidelines that are in the system by default. In this case, the ISO 15189 guideline, the CLIA CAP New York State guideline, a 3x3 HIV verification, and a 3x3 HBV HCV verification that are used. But what we can do if we choose is create our own guidelines. How do we choose our own guidelines? Well, first we go into the guideline which we feel is most appropriate or closest to what we want to use. In this case, I'll click on the CLIA CAP New York State guideline, and what it's showing me is the details of default CLIA/CAP New York State guideline that is in EZValidation Tool, as well as some information about it. And down below, it's showing me the parameters, meaning the different studies that are done for a quantitative validation and a quantitative verification. So these are different in many cases. So for a validation, for example, the accuracy study, while over 4 days for each, requires 10 levels of material for a validation versus only 5 days for a verification. Likewise, an interfering substances study should be performed for a validation of a quantitative assay, but isn't required, according to the CLIA CAP New York State guidelines, for a verification of a quantitative assay, and so on. If we were to create our own custom guideline, we would click on Clone. And now it's created a clone because it says Copy of CLIA CAP New York State guideline. I can't make any changes yet until I click on Edit below. And now it's allowing me to edit this field. So now I'm going to type in Clone of CLIA CAP New York State. I probably will want to erase or modify my description. If I had other authors that I wanted to cite, I could input this information. But most importantly, this allows you to go back to your studies and change these parameters, which will be automatically applied to your data by the EZValidation tool. So for example, I'll assume that I only need 5 levels for my accuracy study, and I think I'll only need to go across 3 days for validation and 3 days for verification. Then I would click on Update. And now my clone of CLIA CAP New York State is automatically saved. Where I apply this new study is in the first 4 easy steps. So we'll click on Return to All Guidelines. Actually, I could get there faster if I clicked on Home. And I start designing a new study, as I'm still logged in. Because it's an advanced feature, you must be logged in to apply your custom guidelines. I would select my location, go down to US, and type in an assay name. I would select Clone of CLIA CAP New York State guideline. For test type, I would apply a validation, in this case, quantitative. I'll say that this is for an adenovirus. Copies per mil, plasma to EDTA. Click on Next, where I can now choose my guideline. And it's going to show me a lot of different guidelines that are in here. And I'll find the clone that I created. And when I click on that, it's going to apply exactly the criteria that I chose for the accuracy, interfering substances, linearity, etc. I'll unclick on normal values, I'll click on Next, and now I put in my parameters here. I'll put this at 200 microliters, and I'll click on Next. And now the EZValidation tool is applying my custom guideline to my study. So, instead of doing 276 reactions that would typically be required because I would be doing more extensive accuracy studies, it's only down to 181 studies for this study as I've defined it. Then you continue to go on by saving study and then filling in your acceptance criteria and all the other information needed for your study before entering your results. But this is how you can create your own guideline and then apply it to the study that you want to create.